お前の道はここで終わりだ。見せてその先の力というもの。ブリーチ、ブレイブソウルズ。
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy the Dash Smasher and welcome back to yet another BBS video, and today we are back with our final top 10 video of the month. And this time around we are going to be covering the overall top 10 characters that we have in the game, which is going to comprise of all attributes. But let me say this right now, this is probably going to be by far the most controversial list that I have done so far. This is basically factoring every single game mode from PvE, Guild Quest, Limit Breaker Quest, not PvP because let's be honest here, Yama cucks all of them. And this is also in terms of damage, kit, nuking potential, and everything else. So I tried my best to get all the top 10 characters lined up with 3 honorable mentions to be added onto the list. So with that being said and done, I think we can pretty much begin the list. So here we go. Starting it off with the honorable mentions. Tensa Zangetsu, this character is absolutely good. He is fantastic in IT. He's going to be good in Limit Breaker Quest. However, his use in GQ is quite limited, if you guys ask me, because he doesn't have any type of melee resistance nullifier and only has a Soul Reaper killer. However, with all that being said and done, he has one of the best kits in the game with Frenzy +1, Havoc of 20%, hit underground enemy mobs plus Pierce Iron Skin, 30% melee damage, ultimate farmer, and has 100% extra damage when hitting enemies that aren't affected by an ailment, with 60% berserker. So like the skill set is actually very good. It definitely is. It's just that his uses besides IT and epic raids, and to some extent Limit Breaker Quest, it is a bit limited, but he is a powerful character for damn sure. Like easily one of the best units in the game still, and top 5 best units for speed. Like the entire top 10 list is basically going to be the best characters in the game, and the fact that they're even as honorable mentions doesn't mean that they're not top 10, doesn't mean that they're bad overall. They're still going to be great in their respective attributes for what they're meant to be done. It's just that factoring in all the different attributes just means that we get a more complex kind of list, but none of the characters are bad. And next up is 7th Anniversary Uryu, and this character has the gauge mechanic, one of the very first ever characters to ever come with it, with double status summons of Weakening and Drain, Frenzy +2 with increased status element chance, and on top of it all, Berserker 20 and speed attribute character strong attack damage of 20%. Now, while this guy isn't a farmer, I do feel like that this character is going to be better than Tensa for a Limit Breaker Quest, and especially in Guild Quest, since he has a lot of value despite not having Marauder. Because if you guys didn't know, he only has guard break plus hit hidden enemies, which isn't a bad skill, but it would have been nice if he had Marauder and hit hidden enemies as a skill in total. But still, gauge mechanic, you cannot go wrong with that. He also has a very good kit too, similar to Tensa, except Tensa has the 960, Uryu has the full screen lunge, and you cannot go wrong with either of these characters. They are broken to the brim. And then 6th Anniversary Aizen, one of the best aged characters in the game, and still number 3 of the best heart units in the game. Like, it's crazy. It really is, because he was the very first ever character to come with Frenzy +2 and also came with full stamina damage boost of 20%, and his utility is still unrivaled. In Guild Quests, he works for the Soul Reaper rotations and the Captain ones especially, and in Limit Breaker Quest 2, he proved to be a very nice and valuable asset for when he had all the rules implemented. He was doing very good, and his kit is literally what holds him up to be one of the best characters in the game still. Like having the 3k length beam with the 960 and homing vortex and the full screen, yeah, very good. Like he aged pretty damn well and is also immune to paralysis. So yeah, other than that, still great. It's just unfortunate that he is not numbered 10 on the list, but hey, he is still going to be my favorites in my heart. He's my second most used character for a reason. But now let's go ahead and dive on into the top 10 best characters that we have in the game. Starting in at number 10 is going to be the 3rd Anniversary Ulquiorra, the speed version. Now, this character comes with a lot of assets, but mainly he is one of the GQ kings, but that is more than likely going to change once we get the brand new difficulty of guild quests, where soul bombs are going to be nerfed. However, the strong attack damage potential is still going to stay there and can make this character quite usable. He still has Hollow and Espada Killer, so you cannot go wrong with that. High Berserker, not the best in terms of, consistency, since he does like the increased status ailment chance, but he does at least have the 80% SP buff, a Ronker Resonance strong attack damage of 10, so already at base he has like 50% Berserker, and the more Ronkers you have in the same quest, the more strong attack damage Ulquiorra is going to be able to do, plus extra 40% damage to weaken enemies, and buffs all speed attribute or Ronkers, so nothing too wrong with that. Bombardment and Devastation of plus 40% is immune to every status element. And of course, yeah, double status elements, Burn and Weakening, 80% SP buff. Like, he just needed increased status element chance, and I think that this guy would have been a bit higher on the list, but he's still quite good. Long Stride, Sharpshooter, Sprinter plus 2, and very good kit too. Very similar to 6th Anniversary Aizen, only difference is he has the 750 into Homing Vortex, which is still a good strong attack. I don't think it's anywhere as bad as people make it out to be. If I were to point out a flaw, it's just the fact that it does leave you stun locked for like a second or two upon activating it, but it's still good. And then the SA3 is full screen. So yeah, he's still one of my favorite characters, #1 most used character for me, but still a fantastic speed unit at the end of the day. At number 9, we have Yamamoto, and Yamamoto is basically Ulquiorra, but way more cracked and way better for guild quests. That being said, does suffer the same problem, being, well, no increased status element chance. So in guild quests, while he may be a king, he does need to proc the 80% SP buff. And I know that these characters have vortexes and stuff, but for content like IT, it is noticeable, especially for when you per se use in speed only IT, Uryu and Ulquiorra, and then Yama and Ichigo in the power only version. So there's that, but still good. Frenzy plus 1, Berserker 40, a bit less strong attack damage, but honestly it's fine because he does a lot of stuff. Still has damage to burning and weaken enemies of plus 40%, 80% SP buff, weaken defense, also is immune to every status ailment but shares the immunities, which is actually quite crazy good. Marauder, Debilitator of plus 5 seconds, double killers of Quincy and Hollow, and he also has Bombardment with the 80% SP buff. Just like Ulquiorra, only difference is that he doesn't have Devastation 40, but does have the weakened defense skill, still making him one of the best nukers in the game. The only reason why he isn't higher is, of course, no increased status element chance, and I do think that all the other characters, besides, well, what this character can do in GQ, in terms of DPS, are just all going to be better than this Yamo right here. He can dodge Hollow damage by 50%, Havoc of 20%, and Sprint plus 2, and same exact kit as 6th Anniversary Aizen, 3k length beam, 916 to Homing Vortex, and then the SA3 is full screen. Still a character to be reckoned with, #2 best power character in the game. And number 7, we have the Parasol Bruno. Now, it was kind of hard to see where I would actually place this character, but I felt like this would have been a very good spot still, because let's just take a look at everything else. Now, this guy is also another gauge mechanic character, but is, in my opinion, a bit better than 7th Anniversary Uryu, just because of the fact that he is immune to all status ailments, and on top of it, he has the extra effect of having 50% SP boost upon activating the gauge, and also has the mechanic where he starts with the gauge at 70%, but other than that, outside of that, he still does respectable damage numbers with Frenzy plus 2 and Berserker 40, double killers of Hollow and Espada. That being said, he only has weakening, but so far, there has not been an inheritance trials where enemy mobs are immune to weakening, so Bruno is pretty much 100% safe, and even then, let's say we do get an inheritance trials where enemies are immune to weakening, he is not going to suffer any types of problems because gauge mechanic. Once you activate it, you gain 100% Berserker, and in Bruno's case, an additional 50% SP buff when the gauge is active. So it's pretty damn good. And once again, we're looking at a similar kit for this character. Oh yeah, Marauder, Long Stride, Sprint plus 2, but similar kit. Only difference is that he has the Suction Vortex on the SA1. SA2 is just the 960, and then the third strong attack is full screen. So yeah, you guys are pretty much looking at the same exact strong attacks that you're expecting from this list. So at number 7, we have Spirits Are Forever With You, Toshiro. Now this guy, he is going to be just as broken as Bruno in terms of what he can do in terms of strong attack damage, but he does have a better Soul Bomb because he has Bombardment. So he is going to be nuking quite hard with the Soul Bomb and be able to be a good asset for GQ. And as a matter of fact, because this guy also has the gauge mechanic like Uryu and Bruno, I do feel like that this guy's value is just going to skyrocket over time, even though the Soul Bomb, in my opinion, is not as good as the likes of Yamamoto and Ulquiorra in that kind of case, because he doesn't have weakening. But still, look at what he has. Frenzy +2, Frenzy +1, Havoc of 20%, Marauder, 80% SP boost. Now, he is lacking increased status ailment chance. There's that. But Berserker, 40%. He does, get the additional cooldown reduction upon activating the gauge and can also heal himself. And look at what else he gets. 20% full stamina damage boost and an extra 40% strong attack damage when at full stamina. This alone makes it up because already at base, you're going to be doing a lot of raw strong attack damage numbers thanks to the skills alone, and once you get the 80% SP buff, you're goated. Once you activate the gauge mechanic, you're also going to be goated, and I feel like this guy is going to be fantastic for Limit Breaker Quest especially, and of course, he's going to be great in the new GQ difficulty once it drops around September time, if not somewhat later. Also has double killers of Soul Reaper and Squad Zero Killer. It would have been better if he had Captain Killer, but it is what it is. But yeah, still good, still good. Oh, the kit, he plays exactly like 7th Anniversary Uryu, so 3k length beam, full screen lunge, 1200 radius, full screen. Next on the list is going to be the 1000 Year Blower anime Ichigo. Now, I was kind of, indecisive where to actually place this character. Now, let's be honest here, for GQ, he is not going to be the type of character to bring with, but I do feel like this character is going to have a bit more value, and just the fact that he has Frenzy +2 with 100% pure damage, it's just going to scale better than the likes of Tensa Zangetsu and the Swimsuit Rengiku in this kind of case in particular. But alongside that, hit underground enemies, pierce iron skin, is immune to every status ailment, Marauder, Sperm +2, and his kit is actually marvelous. Oh, and also has double killers of Arankar and no affiliation. But other than that, he has a 3k length beam with double full screens. I like the kind of kit. It may not be, the 916 Tohoming Vortex. It may not be like the full screen lunge, but honestly, I take it. I honestly like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. And yeah. Oh, what about the innate abilities? Right. He also has Long Stride, read all affiliation dodges, and 20% stamina recovery. Not that many people are gonna agree with my choosing of having Ichigo a bit higher, but it is what it is. I tried my best. I did say it was a controversial list at the beginning of the video anyway, so yeah. And then at number 5, we have the 8th anniversary Ichigo. A lot of people hated on this character because of the kit, and I already countered that, so I'm not gonna talk about it any further, but this is literally the first ever character to ever get Frenzy +3, and on top of it was already backed up with full stamina damage boost of 20% and increased status ailment chance against technique attribute enemies. He is already a menace to behold in the likes of Inheritance Trials, IZ, Droplet Zone, Epic Raids, and look, right now he may not be the greatest for GQ, because let's be honest here, the Soul Bomb ain't nowhere near as the likes of who we just had earlier, like Safui Tosh having high DPS and also a very good Soul Bomb. Bruno, same exact thing. Well, not really in terms of Soul Bomb, but like, you guys get the point. This guy, on the other hand, his value is more than likely going to increase once we get the new GQ difficulty because of what he can do in terms of the DPS that this guy provides. And let's say we do get Poise in GQ, this character might be the first ever character to make good use out of this, because let's be honest here, Poise Break, right now, this is only ever going to be useful in the likes of Arena and Limit Breaker Quest. It's not useful in co-op or anything of that kind of sort, but I do see this character getting some good increased value out of it. But yeah, double killers of Holo and no affiliation, already mentioned what he has here. He also has Havoc of 20%, hit underground enemy mobs, and is immune to every status element, but shares it too. And what else? What did he have in terms of innate abilities? Oh yeah, read all affiliation dodges. Poise, in my opinion, is not really that good of a skill, and Sperm +1. But, on second thought, it's good because this guy can auto Inheritance Trials just fine. Look at it. He has Weakening and Drain. And this guy, once you get hit, you just need to pop that SA2 and you just get your health back so goddamn fast. It's not even funny. Like, you get your health back faster than the likes of 6th Anniversary Eisenfor when it comes to using this character in Inheritance Trials. I'm not even capping. It's that damn good. The kit could have been better, but I don't think it's anywhere near as bad. He has the 18% Shave SA1, A lot of people hated him because of the exact same essay, but honestly speaking, from what I showcased, he can still one-shot in IT. And as long as that one-shots, I'm fine with it. It's never going to be better than the 3K length beam, but you know what? I'll take this any day over the cross-shaped essay. Let's be honest here. SA2, same SA2 as the 3rd anniversary OQR, and matter of fact, it's his strong point because he is able to one-shot with that SA2 just fine. Even though it has a bit of a smaller radius, it will do the work. And matter of fact, because he has Frenzy +3 and full stamina damage boost of 20%, it's just going to let the homing vortex kill even more. So like, again, I just don't see the hate for this character. I just think it's a bit unjustified, if you guys know what I mean. And then the 3rd strong attack is full screen. So yeah, the kit could have been better, but I do think that this guy is pretty damn amazing as a character. For a first ever Frenzy +3 unit, I think he deserves a good damn pass, for sure. And then at number 4, we have ourselves Quincy Ichigo. Now, in my opinion, I do think that Quincy Ichigo is better than the 8th anniversary Ichigo. While the kits do differ, I do feel like that this guy has a bit more value in terms of what he is meant to be used for. Because, let's just take a look at everything. He's got Frenzy +2, 80% SP buff, Berserker 40%, Technique attribute character strong attack damage of 20%, and also has this Technique attribute strong attack reaches of 20%. It's going to help when moving in between maps to get your strong attacks back, and it's a very powerful skill for the likes of Limit Break Request. And on top of that, increased status element chance against speed attribute enemies, Sharpshooter, and Devastation of 40%. Oh, and that's not all, hold on. Full stamina damage boost of 20%, Havoc of 20%, and Spurn +2. Not only is Ichigo's DPS higher than that of the 8th anniversary Ichigo, but he is also going to have a more potent Soul Bomb because of the fact that he has the 80% SP buff with weakening and also has full stamina damage boost of 20%. You're looking at an exact same Soul Bomb as Spirits Are Forever With You, Yoruichi, and Yoruichi can do sub 1 in Guild Quests. If she was able to do that, she can do so with this character. Obviously, the Soul Bomb is going to be quite nerfed once we get the new GQ difficulty going into the future. However, he's already future-proofed for a lot of stuff because of the broken DPS that this guy has. Just having Frenzy +2 with Berserker 40, this 80% SP boost and full stam, it's stupid. It really is stupid. I think that he is one of the stronger characters that we have in the game, for sure. And on top of that, oh yeah, for Spurn +2 and Havoc of 20%, if I forgot to mention that. The kit does differ. Now, he does share the exact same SA1 as the 8th anniversary Ichigo. He has the 18% shade. But considering 8th anniversary Ichigos were enough to get that SA1 to one-shot, because Quincy Ichigo's skills are actually better than that of the 8th anniversary one, yeah, it's just gonna do even better for sure. And then the SA2 is different. He has a 3K length beam with 1020 width, and a 3rd strong attack that is full screen lag. Honestly, no complaints about it. No complaints. It's just that he doesn't have any type of immunities like the 8th anniversary Ichigo, but realistically speaking, you can drain enemy mobs and get your health back just fine. Obviously, it's not as crazy like, 8th Annie Ichigo because he does have the Vortex, and you need to rely on the SA1 and SA2 to do it, but it's still good enough. And he has double killers of Hollow and Human. So there's definitely a lot of usages for when it comes to playing as this character right here. At number 3, yes, I can finally say without a shred of doubt, I think that Retsu is better than Macy, but it's Macy right here. And she does basically the same stuff as Quincy Ichigo, minus the increased status element chance, but just happens to have a better kit and a better Soul Bomb, because let's just take a look at everything else. Double killers of No Affiliation and Squad 0, you can definitely make some solid use out of that, but like Frenzy +2, Berserker 40%. He also has the same skill as Quincy Ichigo right here, speed attribute strong attack reaches of 20%, don't need to explain that, it's the same. And look at what she has. Devastation 40, with damage to paralyzed and weakened enemies of 40% and weakened defense. And this character is able to nuke in GQ. She can sub 1 both the No Affiliation guild quests and even the Quincy Squad 0 multi-killer GQ. So there's that, and of course having double status elements means that she is never going to be getting cucked in Inheritance Trials. And what about the innate abilities? Havoc of 20%, Sharpshooter, and Sprint +1. And like I said, she has a better kit than Quincy Ichigo because she has the 18% shape. So same SA1 as this Ichigo and this Ichigo right here. If both of these Ichigos were able to one-shot with the SA1, Macy can do the exact same thing. I don't need to repeat myself. And then 960 into Homing Vortex. She doesn't have increased status element chance, and it's mainly due to this right here that is just going to help Macy get the 80% SP buff, and then a full screen third strong attack. No immunities, but good god, is she a very broken character. Like, you cannot go wrong with this type of unit whatsoever. You can use her everywhere still. And then we have the better unit of the speed attribute, and I can now say without a shred of doubt, it's Retsu. This character is just so broken beyond belief, and just happens to have the better kit out of all the characters that we've seen here on the list that have Frenzy +2 with 80% SP buff, or Frenzy +3 for that matter of fact. So for starters, double killers of Soul Reaper and Captain, and is the very first ever summonable character to come out without a resurrection, to have strong attack damage of 20% and strong attack recharge time of -12%. So if you don't like playing as this character, you can use her as a link for your other best speed mutants. But guess what? I don't think it's even worth it, because this character is just numero uno, baby, for speed. Yeah, I can say it now. She's numero uno, because let's just take a look at what she has. So for starters, she already has strong attack damage of 20%, right? Frenzy +2, and also has full stamina damage boost of 20%. That alone is already better than Macy's flat Berserker 40 already. Is immune to every status summon, so already that's another character that has immunity. The only other character to have immunities in the top 5 is this 8th anniversary Ichigo right here. But let's look at everything else. Devastation of 40%, Havoc of 20%, also has Long Stride, Marauder, Poise. It's a bit of, you know, not the craziest skill. And then this skill right here, which just changes everything, Rampage. Now, she already starts off at 2%, so every enemy mob you kill, the multipliers rise up by 2%, and once you have killed 50 enemy mobs, you can get the skill up at a maximum of 100% damage. And you're looking at 100% damage of everything. The strong attacks, the normal attacks, and the soul bomb. And to top it all off, she even has the 80% spiritual pressure boost. And this character can nuke. This character can officially nuke the guild quests that she can do. Captain has yet to be seen, but I think that she will be quite the solid nuker to use, and even then, she's gonna be future-proofed for the new GQ difficulty, and for Limit Breaker quests, she is going to be just as great as Macy. Now, she may not have the strong attack recharge skill, but good god, is she still going to be quite insane. And as a matter of fact, going back on the strong attack recharge discussion, reduced strong attack cooldown of 6%, so she's going to have a lot more cooldowns on her SA1 and SA2 mainly, and also has Sprint +2, so she's already quite the speedy character. And you don't even need to give a Long Stride because she already has that. And of course, 20% stamina recovery, as you guys can see right here. And then the straw attacks. 3k length beam. Already fantastic. Definitely better than the 18% shave already. And then the SA2, she's got an 870 radius lunge. So the same lunge as the Spirits Are Forever With You Yoruichi. You cannot go wrong with that. It would have been better if she got 7th anniversary Uryu's SA2, but we'll take it for what it is. And then the SA3 is the trap mechanic. And that is the one thing that people were complaining about this character already. And in my opinion, it's quite stupid because, let me get right into it. For starters, she already has the extra cooldown of 6%. So already at base, when at full stam, she has 18% strong attack cooldown. And with the SA3, when you give her full recharge links, you're looking at a cooldown time for this SA3 to be 14 seconds rather than 16-17 seconds, so already making it better. And that's the first thing to counter the whole argument. The second thing, she has now an 1170 radius SA3. So the 1170 AoE in front makes its return. The last ever SP unit to have that was the Arena Halibel. And guess where that SA3 originated? Characters like the Mind Koga, Zombie Toshio, even, who's about to get his resurrection, had that same similar SA3. And on SP characters, it's broken because it's an aimable full screen attack and has a shit ton of radius. It's off by 30 for a full screen 1200, but honestly speaking, this is just better in my opinion than the typical 1200 radius full screen. And then she plants the trap where once enemies step on it, you have a high chance of being able to get the 80% SP buff, even though with that SA3 you're just going to be one-shotting already, and you're still going to be able to get the 80% SP buff relatively quick because of the fact that she has Frenzy +2. But yeah, going back on topic of the trap, let's just pull up Mayuri real quick, right? Mayuri had it worse because he had trash SAs as a whole, and then his SA3 wasn't even full screen. He had a 960 in front. And of course, once again, had a longer cooldown. Retsu, way more range on the SA3, and has less cooldowns. So, yeah. In my opinion, this character is better than Macy, and she can nuke just fine. And of course, the Rampage skill is going to help out in Guild Quest for sure. And finally, at number 1, I think we can all agree with who it is, and it's White. White is just that guy that can do so much damage on his strong attacks, and on top of that has a soul bomb that will be able to rival the likes of Yamamoto. Oh, hold on, where is he? Okay, there we go. It is able to almost rival Yamamoto if you give White damage to lacerated enemies of 40%, and of course the double weaken defense. I think that he's going to be able to do more or less the same, if not a bit better, by 10% in terms of damage, which is actually crazy. Although it's not as strong as weakening, but he's still getting it up there. He's gonna be better as a nuker than the likes of Spirits Are Forever With You Mayuri, and as a matter of fact, because he has no affiliation killer, he's already gonna be way better at nuking than Macy, which is crazy, and also has Soul Reaper killer, so whew, we're looking at a very strong nuker already, ladies and gentlemen. But look at this, Frenzy +2, Havoc of 20%, increased status element chance, 80% SP buff, weaken defense, damage to lacerated enemies of +40%, and damage to drained enemies of +40%, bombardment +1, and mind attribute character special move damage of 30%. Yeah, this character is crazy. It's crazy. He doesn't have any type of berserker or full stamina, but because this guy has Frenzy +2 with increased status element chance, it makes it so easy to get these multipliers right here that are just so crazy. He is just going to be better than the likes of Retsu in terms of being able to do the best possible damage, and the Soul Bomb is just going to be crazy. Like, honestly, he is one of the GQ kings alongside Yamamoto, and as a matter of fact, in my opinion, for the new GQ difficulty, he's going to be better than the likes of Yamamoto just because of the amount of DPS that this guy can provide, and it's pretty much guaranteed. And the double status elements of Drain and Laceration, it's good. Nothing is going to stop this character. It's crazy good. Innate abilities, he also has Marauder, complete status immunity, and has Spurn +3. This guy has 4 flash steps. The same amount of flash steps as a base Yoruichi and Soifon would have once you get them evolved to a 6-star. Which is crazy. It really is. So if you guys want, you can give him Long Stride, and this guy will be quite the speedy character despite having the SA1 being the Suction Vortex, which will stun lock him, and then the SA3 being the Vacuum into Explosion. But like, the kid is good. Like I said, he has the Suction Vortex into Lunge, as you guys can see right here. Pretty good. And then the SA2 full screen Lunge like the 7th Anniversary Uryu, Safui Tosh, and then Vacuum into Explosion. Now, Byakuya, funny enough, had that same SA3. It just didn't work for him because he had no status elements, he had no way of being able to debuff stuff, whereas White, he gets additional stuff. Like, he already gets these types of extra damage multipliers once you inflict the status elements, and also has this plus 80% SP boost. Nothing is going to stop him, and the SA3 just happens to be a really damn strong attack, and yeah, this character is crazy. He is nutty. In my opinion, he is the best character in the game. Best in all of BBS. He's going to be able to tackle on every single content minus PvP. He's going to be a god in Limit Breaker Quest. He's going to be a god in Guild Quest. He is going to be a god in Inheritance Trials. Name every single type of difficult content that we have in today's meta. He is going to be a god. That's the best way I can describe it. But even then, all 10 of these characters right here are amazing. All of them. None of them are bad. None of them are shafted. None of them got the cuck. And they're just going to work out in every single game mode regardless of that. So even though the order of my top 10 list is iffy, all 10 of these characters are going to work out fine. And fuck, even the honorable mentions are going to work out fine. Because that's just how OP these characters are right here. And you cannot go wrong with that whatsoever. With that being said, let me know what you guys think about this list, and thank you guys for watching. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and hit the bell notification so that way you guys are up to date with my most recent videos. This has been your boy, the Death Smasher, and I hope to see you guys all in the next one. So, have a pleasant one, lads. Take care. Peace out. Bye-bye. Sayonara.